घाट्य योग कलया हृदयाब्ज कोशम धन्यैश्चिरादपि यथारुचि गृह्यमाणः यः प्रस्फुरत्यविरतं परिपूर्ण रूपः श्रेयस्समे दिशतु शाश्वतिकं मुकुन्दः अमरी कबरी भार भ्रमरी मुखरीकृतं दूरीकरोतु दुरितं गौरी चरणपङ्कजं परस्पर तपस्सम्पत् फलायित परस्परौ प्रपञ्च मातापितरौ प्राञ्चौ जायापति स्तुमः think we are in the Nidarshana alankara. So there is just one more variety that we need to do. There are three types of Nidarshana alankara. One is Vakyartha Vritti. The second one is Padartha Vritti. The third is Sadasad Artha Bodhana Rupa. The first and second are easier to understand, and the definition is also very clear, along with the example. So Vakyarthayoho Sadrishayoho Aikyaropaha. So first you have two sentences. One is the Upamana Vakyam, the other is the Upameya Vakyam. Then you have an Abheda Aropaha. So the first is you have two sentences which are similar. And then the second step is Abheda Aropaha between the two of them. Okay. Yadatu Somyata Seyam Purnendur Akalankata. This was the example. We saw this and the Aparamuda Hरणम. When you go to the Padartha Vritti, if the same thing happens with just one word, the meaning of the word, Ekasminneva Padarthe, Anya Padartha Dharmasya Aropaha Yadi Kriyate, then only Dharmaropa happens here. Then it is the second type of Nidarshana, which is the Padartha Vritti. There are no two separate sentences which are being connected by Yattat, whereas here it is the Dharma of one, which is the Upamana. Dharma of the Upamana is being superimposed upon the Upameya itself. Okay, so this was the second variety we saw. The third variety has two subdivisions in it. So Sat, Asat, Artha, Bodhana, Rupa, Nidarshana. Aparam Bodhanam Prahuhu, Kriyaya, Asad, Sadarthayoho. So the Kriyaya, using a Kriya, I think we will read this whole thing from this section. Kriyaya, Kinchit, Kriya Visheshasya, Kasyachit, Swakriyaya, Paran Prati. So either kriyaya kasyachit kriyaya swakriyaya athava paran prati, either by another action something is understood, or by our own action we try to explain, or we try to show another person what is the whole thing. Okay, whether it is an asadartha bodhanam or sadartha bodhanam. Asat sad arthayoho asataha doshaphalasya sataha gunaphalasya va bodhane jnapane varnyamane aparam purva vilakshanam anyam nidarshanam ahuhu. So this is a another variety of nidarshana which is completely different from the Vakyartha Vritti and the Padartha Vritti. The only Anvarthanama, that is the name of the alankara, fits here in the sense of Nidarshanam. Nidarshanam is you are showing something as an udaharana for understanding something. Very similar to Arthantarnyasa, but the format of expression is very different. You have to say that this action is being done in order to show this. This format of expression should be there. When that format is there, you understand that because of an action, kayachit kriyaya atra kimapi bodhyate iti. Whether that bodhanam is asat vishaya or sad vishaya is the difference between the two. Okay, so there can be two varieties in this manner. Tathacha iyam dvividha kriyaya asadartha bodhana rupa kriyaya sadarthana bodhana rupa. Nidarshayati kriyaya pradarshayati iti nidarshana. So this is how the name has come here. சுட்டி காமிக்கிறதுங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, இதனால இதுக்கு தெரிவிக்கிறது அப்படிங்கிறோமே, அதை வச்சுட்டுதான் நிதர்சனான்னு வருது. The first type is asadartha bodhana rupayaha nidarsanayaha udaharanam. Nashyed rajavirodhi iti kshinam chandrodaye tamaha. Chandra udaye sati tamaha kshinam. during the rise of the moon, tamaha kshinam abhavat. The darkness reduced completely. As if to show that Raja Virodhi Nashyet, the enemy of the king, will get destroyed. So here there is a play on the word Raja, wherein Raja means both Raja Nripaha iti, अथवा राजा इति चन्द्रः अपि. सो राजशब्दे श्लेषेण नृप चन्द्रयोः प्रतिपत्तिः वर्तते. राज्ञः विरोधी नश्येत्. The darkness being an enemy to the moon, the darkness gets destroyed when the moon rises. That is, when the moon is at its peak, there is no darkness in the sky at that point of time. So you talk of the moon and the darkness as enemies here. So if you are in a contradictory position to the moon, then you are likely to get destroyed. So it is as if you are against someone who is in power, then you will get destroyed. This is the learning that we get from the nature here. Okay, so Rajnyaha Virodhi Nashyet Nasham Apnuyat iti Paran Bodhayan, teaching others Chandrodaye Tamaha Andhakaraha Kshinam Nashtam Ityatra Chandrodaye Tamasaha Kshayarupa Kriyaya. Because of the action, by the action of destroying the tamas during Chandrodaya, that action seems to give us this knowledge, give us the instruction that Raja Virodhi Nashyet iti dosha phalasya. If you make a mistake, this will be the result. So that is an asadarthasya bodhanat. It is giving us an instruction about what will happen if we make a mistake. Iti lakshana samanvayaha. So Raja Shabda here has slesha. It is not necessary that every time there has to be a slesha. There need not be a slesha also. Asyaha eva aparam udaharanam unnatam padam avapya yo laghuhu helayaiva sapatediti bruvan shaila shekhara gataf prishadganaha charu maruta dhutaha patatyadaha. Prishadganaha shaila shekhara gataha. Prishadganaha is a small and the tivilaying role, yeah? A raindrop, a droplet of water which falls from the cloud onto the peak of a mountain. So Shaila Shekhara Gataha Prishadganaha. The droplets, the group of droplets which have gone to the top or the peak of a mountain. So assuming that this is have this proverb in your mind, the pride comes before a fall. So when you are at the top of your career, the next thing is, if you have seen the zenith, if you have seen the peak, the next would be only fall. If you still think you have not reached the peak, only then can you achieve more heights. But if you think you are already at the height, the next step would be only down, right? So Shaila Shekhara Gataha Prishadganaha, a group of droplets which have fallen onto the peak of the mountain. When even a slight breeze flows there, it will immediately fall down. It is not going to stand on the top of that mountain at all. Its natural flow is to just fall down because it is very light and it's not a huge rock that it needs a tornado to push it. It's a very light, there is no substance in it at all, the water droplet. So Charu Maruta Dhutaha, Dhutaha being pushed by Charu Marutam. It's like Malaya Marutam. It's like a very soft breeze which flows, and being pushed by a very soft breeze, it falls down. Patati Adhaha. Now, what is the instruction that it tells us? If you you have to have that much of power to climb up to the top. If you have climbed up without any substance in you, then naturally it is the fall. You're going to experience a fall. You're going to come down from that position of power. Unnatam padam avapya yaha laghuhu. Someone who is very laghu, or one who does not have the good qualities in him, but he has somehow by hook or crook, he has achieved a great position here. Unnatam padam avapya. Helaya eva saha patet. Not wantedly, someone need not push him. கரம் வச்சு அப்படியே இவனை இறக்கணும் அப்படின்னெல்லாம் nobody needs to make a great effort to push him down and all that. Even a slight action, helaya here is kridaya, as if out of sport someone is trying to push him, he will immediately fall because he has not fully established himself based on his own merit, and he is just a laghu purushaha, neecha purushaha. He will immediately fall down from that position. So helaya eva saha patet, even by a very insignificant action he couldn't fall. Iti bruvan, as if to say this, the droplet at the peak of a mountain will fall down or falls down being pushed by even a soft breeze. Okay.
It is much more clear than to me it's much more clear than previously. So the clue, the key is that the word iti bruvan, or previously iti, which is connecting the bodhanam to the example. Correct. The example that follows the iti, right? Which yes. The iti is demonstrating the nyaya in the enclosed by the sentence following the iti. The example is demonstrating the nyaya that's preceding the iti.
Correct. So our clue should always be this iti bruvan. If that comes, then it is nidarshana. Otherwise, it could be drishtanta or some other alankara.
Arthantranyasa.
Arthantranyasa. எதுக்கொண்டாலும் போயிடலாம். No?
So if it says unnatam padam avapya yo laguhu helaya yaha laguhu helaya eva saha patet Shailashekaragatah prishadganah iti. If I don't say iti bruvan, it Correct. Might become arthantranyasa, right?
Yes, it will.
Got it.
It will.
Right. And but for drishtantaha, I should have two vakyams.
Two separate vakyams, and there should be a bimba pratibimba bhava.
Aikyam between the two.
Reflective.
Yeah, that's the aikyam, right? The reflection that you're talking about.
And you can't have the same samana dharma.
You can't have the same samana dharma. Got it. I mean, no, you should have the same samana dharma, right?
Not in Drishtanta. It will be vastu prativastu bhava, and it will become prativastupama. If it has the same samana dharma, then it becomes prativastupama.
Yeah, I think somehow I thought in bimba pratibimba bhava it will have different, and here it will have the same.
Correct. Yeah. Bimba pratibimba bhavathila different samana dharma. There is no samana dharma there.
Sorry, appo Nidarshana will also have.
Drishtanta தான் சொல்றேன். Drishtanthathla வந்து ரெண்டு sentences இருக்கு. The two sentences will have different samana dharma or dharma. Let's say.
You're saying that Drishtanta has the bimba pratibimba bhava.
Yes.
Okay. So
Drishtantana, think of it as a mirror.
The mirror. Yeah, no, I was confused because when I think I asked you about the Indukshveda, then you said Angavanda dharmas are different. Ninga sonninga.
Dharmas are different, but it is expressed by the same word.
Oh, expressed by the same word. That is the clue. Okay.
Anga adanala it becomes an upama there.
Got it.
It is a very tough one.
No, but it's clear. It's clear. I mean, I'm trying to get it. The fact is that the underlying concepts are the same, but the expression in words is different.
Correct.
So the shastram is completely at the word level. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Atra parvata shikara ghataha vrishti binduhu, the raindrop which has fallen onto the top of a mountain, manda maruta matrena adhav patan, falling down by just a small soft breeze. Laghava yuktaha yadi unnatam padam arohati tarhi anayasena adhav patet iti kriyaya asadartha bodhanam. So laghava yuktaha, one who does not have that gauravam or honor, someone who should not be placed in such a position, which needs only a person who has that much of honor, right? So laghava yuktaha janaha yadi unnatam padam arohati, if he goes to a big position of power, then anayasena, without any great effort, he can easily be pushed down or he will fall down. This is the lesson that we learn from the Vrishti Bindu. Okay. The next is sadartha bodhana rupayaha nidarshanayaha udaharana. Udayanneva savita padmeshu arpayati shriyam vibhavayan samriddhinam phalam suhrud anugraha. Udayanneva savita. Savita suryaha. Udayanneva, as he is rising, Padmeshu Shriyam Arpayati, he gives the beauty to the lotuses. That is, he makes the lotuses bloom because of his rays. As soon as the rays touches the lotuses bloom. So when they bloom, they are more beautiful than they were when they were a bud. So Udayanneva Savita Padmeshu Shriyam Arpayati. What is he actually teaching us? Samriddhinam suhrad anugraha samriddhinam phalam. Samriddhinam sampadam phalam suhrad anugraha. When there is an anugraha or by the grace of friends, definitely we will have a result which is என்ன சொல்றது, நல்ல சமிருத்தி, செழிப்புனுடைய பலம், prosperity. The result of prosperity is the fact that we have a grace of the friends. Yeah.
So the result of the prosperity of the sun, meaning sun is rising, so he's getting prosperous. Udayan, so tasmat tasya samriddhi bhavati. Tasya phalam kim nama idanim tasya suhritu padmam. So suhrid anugraha. So the sun is doing anugraha to the suhrid. So just like that in the world, whenever somebody is rising, he or she will help.
He will help the friends. Yes.
Okay.
Iti vibhavayan, and the vibhavayan is our clue for that.
So in family, the orthar mela vanda, the whole family will either obtain. Okay.
One person comes to the US, he will bring the entire family here. But yeah, in general, and ஒரு நல்ல குணம் இருக்கிறவாளை பத்தி தானே சொல்றோம். It's about people who have that helping tendency, and the moment he will always help his friends naturally. அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக சொல்றேன். Savita Suryaha, this is a Vyakyanam Madri it's a Vyakyanam for the Sloka. So Savita Suryaha, Udayanneva, Abhyudayam Prapnuvanneva, having gotten a prosperity or rising, when he rises, Samriddhinam Sampadam Phalam Suhrad Anugraha iti Vibhavayan Paran Prati Bodhayan. Teaching others that when the result of having a great prosperity is to show a grace, to show help others. So help your friends. Iti vibhavayan, teaching this, Padmeshu swasuhrutsu shriyam shobham arpayati. The sun gives beauty to its friends, which is the lotuses. Ityatra Padmeshu Shobha Arpana Rupa Kriyaya. By the action that the sun gives beauty to the lotuses, it is as if it is teaching the others that Paran Prati Ahamiva Anyaha Api Swa Udayakale Suhridbhyaha Samriddhim Dadyat. Just like me, another person also, Swa Udayakale, when he is prosperous, Suhridbhyaha samriddhim dadyat. He will give prosperity or he will give wealth to others also. He will ensure that the others are also rising up. Iti shreyaskaram artham bodhayati. Iti varnanat sadarthana bodhana rupa nidarshana. That vibhavayan is our clue which says iti darshayan or bodhayan. Iti. Okay. The example is very similar to that. Chudamani padaya datte yodevam ravimagatam satam karyatiteyi iti bodhayan grihamedhinaha. Grihamedhinaha bodhayan ravim agatam ravim yaha chudamani padaya datte. பாதியில நிக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்குல்ல, தத்பதமே இல்லை இங்க. चूडामणिपदे दत्ते धत्ते सहा धत्ते इति. यहा रविम आगतम, यहा आगतम रविम चूडामणिपदे दत्त यहा गृहमेदिनः. ஒரு நிமிஷம், Because there is no tatpadam here, it is, we'll take it as something in a context of description of Udayagiri. இப்போ குமாரசம்பவத்துல எடுத்தோம்னா the first sectionல வந்து अस्ति उत्तरस्यां दिशि देवतात्मा हिमालयो नाम नगाधिराजः पूर्वापरौतवेनि दीवगाह्य स्थितः पृथिव्या इव मानदण्डः. That is the first shloka, which gives you actually the tatpadam. Yam sarvashailaः परिकल्प्य वत्सं मेरौ स्थिते दोग्धरिदोह दक्षे அப்படின்னுட்டு यस्य அப்படின்னு வரும். यस्मिन् यत्र iti. There are some 15 shlokas after that which describe Himod Parvata with only the Yatpadam. If you take only that shloka out of context, then it will not fit at all. We have to look at it from the context of the entire Kavyam, looking at the first shloka also. அப்போதான் வந்து you will find a full sentence there. Probably there is another, it is part of a set of description where the tatpadam is already given. So saha udayagirihi iti, somewhere we'll have to take it as it has been mentioned and only this shloka is given here as the yatpadam. Seriya? So yaha udayagirihi Agatam Devam Ravim Chudamani Pade Dhatte. As the sun rises, at one point it will be like a Chudamani. Chudamani is like the crest jewel, a crown jewel. It the mountain Udayagiri from behind, from which the sun rises, at one point it will be like a jewel on the top of the head. So the mountain seems to carry the sun on its head itself, showing that satam atiteyi karya. Atiteyi is atitehe sadhu atiteyi. So that which is beneficial for an atiti, for a visitor. So satam atiteyi karya iti grihamedinaha bodhayan. It is as if to teach. It is holding the sun on its head to show to the grihastha, to a householder, that you have to always show atithe satkara to good people who come to your house as visitors. So atiteyi karya iti. This is a beneficial thing, that is idea that is being said here. Yeah. So atra udayagirihi pratah kale samagatam suryam shirasi vahan. Shirasi shlaghate ngramolyo, and the shirasa shlaghate purvam abdine first gunadosho budo grinnanla paathom. So shiramer kondu varavalikkiradu abdine. So you're actually English la adukku enna eppadi phrase podradunu therilla, talayala kondaadradungiradhu eppadi solradhu. So funny thing, very contextual in our language. Atra udayagirihi pratah kale samagatam suryam shirasi vahan. It bears it on its head and teaches the grihasthas. Grihasthaihi api atitinam saparya kartabya karya. The saparya puja, worship has to be done to all the visitors. Iti Swakriyaya bodhayati. It is teaching with its own action. That is the Udayagirihi atra bodhayati grihamedhinaha. Iti varnanat sadartha bodhana rupa nidarshana. Clear? So with this Nidarshana alankara is over. Now we move on to Vyatireka alankara. Any doubts so far? Unulya. Okay. Next is Vyatireka alankara. It's a very simple alankara and very easy to identify also. Vyatirekaha visheshaschet upamana upameyayoho. You have an upamanam and an upameya. You are doing an upama there. The next step is to show the difference between the two. The first step is upama alankara. Next, one A potomna, the second step would be to show a difference between the upamana and the upameya. Either you are showing that the upamanam is better than the upameya, which is naturally, but if you are highlighting that difference in vakyam, in expression, then it is called Vyatireka alankara. See, our by definition, upamanam is always adhika gunavan and upameya is nyuna gunavan. That is by definition. by default. Okay, there is no issue with that. But if you are showing in expression that it is a little bit better, so I can also show that the upameya is better than the upamanam in expression, then it is Vyatireka alankara. Shaila iva unnataha santaha kintu prakriti komalaha santaha sat purushaha. So santaha sat purushaha shailaha iva unnataha. Good people are actually very high minded like mountains. So they are very high like mountains. Kintu prakriti komalaha. When you look at the mountain, it is very hard because of the rocks, and it is by nature, it is a very hard substance. It's not a very soft substance. Whereas our good people, prakriti komalaha, they are very soft in by nature. Prakriti, their nature is to deal with people in a very soft manner. So you are saying that they both are same. Upamanam to, I think they will, in the Vyakyanam itself, he gives that. Upamana upameyayoho visheshaha chet. Visheshaha vailakshanyam varnitam chet. If a difference or a difference is shown, is described between the upamana and the upameya, then it is called Vyatireka alankara. Santaha, sajjanaha, good people, shailaha parvataha iva unnataha, shailaha akare unnataha, santaha tu chitte aunnatya yuktaha. So the good people are like the mountains, they are very tall like the mountains. Here you take it as shailaha akare, in form the mountains are very high, whereas the good people are very noble or large-hearted in their minds. No, they're persa nenepa. Eppume. Promba alpa buddhihi nasti iti tatra. Tesha. Kintu santaha prakritya swabhavena komalaha mridulaha shailastu kathinaha iti bhavaha. Even if it is not written, we understand that by nature the mountains are very hard to touch, whereas these people are very soft in their behavior. Atra prakriti komalaha iti upamana bhuta shailebhyaha upameya bhuta sajjananam vailakshanyam varnitam iti Vyatireka lakshana samanvayaha. So upamanam is shailaha and upameya is your santaha, satpurushaha, sajjanaha. The common samana dharma here is unnataha. Aunnatyam is the samana dharma between these two. But there is a vishesha that you are saying between the upamana and the upameya. In upamalankara, you are saying this is equal to this because of this dharma. And you are confining it to that. But in Vyatireka, you take it one more step and say, no, upamana bhuta shailebhyaha upameya bhuta sajjananam difference. You are only saying not better and the madrilan sollala. You are showing a difference. That's all. Whether it is adhikyam or nyunam, it doesn't matter. Vailakshanyam varnitam. So Vyatirekaha nama vailakshanyam tacha kadachit upamana apekshaya upameyasya adhikye. So the upameya can be more, sometimes more, that is, it can be better than the upamana, or nyunatayam anubhayeva paryavasyati. It can either be better than the upamana, upameya. So upamana apekshaya upameyasya adhikyam. So when you compare it with the upameya can be better or lesser or samam. Atra upameya utkarsha paryavasayi. Here upameya is santaha, sajjananam utkarshaha eva atra drishyate. Okay.
The Anand Vigadan and all, they used to show 2 pictures and then show 6 differences like that. Similar to that.
Idla oru difference andale porom. Romba vandam. The अपरम उदाहरणं for this. पल्लवतः कल्पतरोः एषः विशेषः करस्यते वीर भूषयति कर्णमेकः परस्तु कर्णं तिरस्कुरुते. हे वीर, Kanchana Rajanam Prati Kavihi Vadati. Usually that kind of description you will find here. So the poet looks at the king and says, Hey Veera, te karasya kalpataroho pallavataha eshaha visheshaha. This is the difference between your hand and the pallava, the flower of kalpataru. Or pallava can be a sprout from the kalpataru. During spring season, the fresh leaves come out, right? So it has 2-3 leaves in it, and that section is called pallava also. So the difference between kalpataru's kalpaka vriksham, the wish fulfilling tree, the flower from the wish fulfilling tree, and your hand, there is a difference. What is the difference here? Ekaha karnam bhushayati. One decorates the ear, karna. One decorates the ear. The other, karnam tiraskaroti, it puts down the ear. Abdina, the first karna indicates ear. The second karna talks about Danavira karnaha. Atra kalpataroho pallavaha karnam bhushayati. So here that when kalpataru might fulfill your wishes, but the flower of the kalpataru can only be a decorative vastu. It can only be used as an alankarana vastu by women. Any flower is not going to give the wish. It is only the tree that is going to give the wish. So this is only a part of that kalpataru. That pallavam of the kalpaka vriksha is only a part of that kalpaka vriksha. So that part does not have the capacity of fulfilling wishes. It can only be an ornament for the ear. So karnam bhushayati rajnyaha karahatu. Raja vutruvo, just a part of the king, only his hand. What does it do? Karnam radheyam, radhayaha putraha karnaha. Kunti putraha, right? Karnam tiraskurute dana atishayena iti. He puts down karna, even karna, because this hand of yours, the king's, is capable of giving much more than what karna would have probably given. So it's a way of praising the king here. Iti upamanat pallavat upameyasya karasya vailakshanya varnanat Vyatireka alankara. He is showing the difference between the upamanam and the upameya. Usually kara pallavam iti vadamaha. Karaha pallavaiva. So kara, the hand becomes the upameya. Pallavam is your upamanam. There is the softness that is associated with both, which is the samana dharma, and that samana dharma is not mentioned here. It can be mentioned, it need not be mentioned. In the earlier we saw unnataha, iva unnataha iti aunnatya rupa samana dharmasya varnana vartate tatra, atra tu nasti ityeva. There is no samana dharma mentioned here. But he is only talking about the difference. Ekaha tu karnam bhushayati. And another tiraskurute, karnam tiraskurute. He uses klesha here. Ayamapi utkarsha paryavasayi eva. So here also we are talking of the greatness of the upameya when compared to the upamanam. Nyunatvam and anubhayatvam are given in the anubandha, which usually they don't ask. But we can go over those two shlokas just to understand how the upameya can be described as nyunam when compared to the upamana or anubhayam. Both are the same. In a nalla shlokam adrendo. If you go to the end, anubandha, upameya nyunatva paryavasayinaha vyatirekasya udaharanam. So upameya is nyunam, which is a given. Right? By definition, by default, we have taken that nyuna gunavan eva upameya. But you are comparing those things and you are also saying that it is nyunam in expression. Appada Vyatireka alankara. So the example is a very beautiful example. This is Ratnavali nanikren. Raktastom navapallavai rahamapi shlaghyev priyaya gunaihi त्वामायान्ति शिलीमुखा स्मरदनुर्मुक्तास्तथा मामपि कान्तापादतलाहतिस्तव मुदे तद्वन् ममाप्यावयोः सर्वं तुल्यमशोक केवलमहं धात्रा शशोक कृतः. இது ரத்னாவளியா என்னன்னு தெரியாது, பட் இட் இஸ் தேர் இன் த்வன்யாலோகா as an example for விப்ரலம்ப ஸ்ருங்காரம். இந்த இடத்துல மேபி he gives ரத்னாவளியிலிருந்துன்னு சொல்றாரோ நம்ம இல்ல. விரஹாதுரஸ்ய கஸ்யசித் வ்யக்தேஹ ஏவ இதி. Okay, this is also alankarena rasadhvani அந்த மாதிரி வரும். So let's look at only the alankara here. A nayaka who is in viraha, he is in separation now, he is not with his nayika and he is looking at the ashoka tree and it is just bloomed. So it is springtime. Vasanta rituhu vartate tasmat tatra he misses his beloved even more during the springtime. He looks at the ashoka tree and describes the difference between the two of them. Raktaha tvam navapallavaihi. You are red because of navapallava. The fresh leaves that have come about, usually the leaves are not green when they are in the talir madri irukirche. When they are just coming out, sprouting, they are more reddish than green. So raktaha tvam ashoka tree. Tvam navapallavaihi, because of new fresh leaves coming out, you are also looking red. Ahamapi shlaghyahi priyayaha gunaihi raktaha. Raktaha here means I am also attracted towards raga yuktaha asmi. Katham priyayaha shlaghyahi gunaihi. Because of the praiseworthy qualities that are there in my beloved, I am also totally attracted towards my beloved here. Tvam ayanti shilimukhaha. Because there are new flowers, bees are approaching you. Shilimukhaha are bhramaraha. It is a slash of words, right? So raktaha here means both rakta varnaha and raga yuktaha. Here also in the second line, shilimukhaha are both bhramaraha banaha api. Smaradanur muktaha shilimukhaha tatha mamapi. The arrows that have been released from the Manmatha's bow also are approaching me. So the tree, the bees are approaching the tree because they are attracted towards the flower. Here Manmatha's arrows are approaching me. He is feeling that separation here. Kanta pada tala ahatihi tava mude tadvan mamapi. For me also, tavatu, usually if a tree is not blooming or if a creeper is not blooming, there are different methods called dohada, wherein you are trying to insult the tree and say that, you know, there is such a beautiful lady who wants to enjoy the flowers and you are not putting forth flowers. So she would probably decorate her leg and kick the tree. So in Malavika Agnimitram, you would have seen that. Adavadhu avaloda kaalukku vandu and color ellam pooshi, they decorate it with noopuram, and she is made to kick the ashoka flower and it will immediately flower within 5 days or something like that. So if it flowers, then she can go and ask Dharini for some reward because the ashoka tree flowered. In this way, each creeper or each tree blooms because of certain different action. There is a gandusha, so they take in wine in the mouth and then spit it in front of that tree, so it will feel ashamed and it will also bloom, it seems. Ilana some priyavakyehi, priyangu narma vakyehi, you go and talk to it or you abuse it, then it will, you know, how can you be like this? Ityadikam tu tatra akshepa vartaha yadi vadamaha tarhi it will again bloom. Here, kanta pada tala ahatihi tava mude. For you, it is a pleasure if the lady's leg hits you. Kanta pada talasya ahatihi. Ahatihi tadanam. Tadanam tu tava mude, tava santoshaye vartate. Tatvat, in the same manner, mama api. For me also. That is, if I have made a mistake and she kicks me or touches her leg on me, it means that I have been forgiven. So she has shown her anger and I have been forgiven. So the same way, for me also, if I'm able to get the sparsham of her leg, then it is a joyous moment for me also. Evam avayoho sarvam tulyam. So many things are equal for both of us. Ashoka, so there is a play in the word Ashoka. There is no shokam for you. You do not have grief. Aham, kevalam aham, dhatra sa shokaha kritaha. The vidhi, Brahma has created me, or vidhi has created me with shoka, with grief. Right? He is separated from his beloved, so he is with grief here.
Beautiful. I have a note here which says that it's from Hanuman Natakam, Anka 5, Shloka 24.
Okay. Hanuman Natakam வந்து ஒரு dubious one. அதுல வந்து எல்லாம் அதுல இருக்கும். It's like one collection thing. Like Subhashita Sangraham மாதிரி அது. So you don't know the source of it. Okay. So sarvam tulyam ashoka. Here upameyasya sashokatvat, because the nayaka is comparing himself to the upamanam, which is the ashoka tree, and he is saying aham sashokaha kritaha tuntu ashokaha. So here sashokatvam, being with grief, is a bit less than the upamanam. Adnala nyunatvam darshitam upameyasya.
So the Vyatireka clue is like here, kevalamaham iti, that the difference is being shown.
Yes.
Right? And previously it was like tu or parantu or kintu. Like, so you need that kind of word which shows the difference.
Yes.
That's the clue for the Vyatireka. Okay, got it.
The next one is Anubhaya Paryavasayi. Anubhaya Paryavasayi, it ends in being Anubhayam, neither Adhikyam nor Nyunatvam. The shloka's description ends in a manner in which both the Upamana and the Upameya, there is no difference between the two. Dridhatara nibaddha mushtehe kosha nishannasya sahaja malinasya kripanasya kripanasya cha kevalam akarataha bhedaha. So there is only a difference between a miser and a sword in form. Akarataha bedaha. A miser is in the form of a man, and a sword is like a knife or a long sword, right? So akarataha, in form they both have a difference, that's all. Otherwise they both are the same in action or in attitude, whatever. So there are three examples that he gives, Visheshanas, and it is again Slesha Yuktam. In fact, in Rasikaranjani he says you can have Slesha with Saslesha or Aslesha. Without Slesha also there can be Vyatireka examples. It need not be with Slesha always, but there is no chamatkaram in something which does not have Slesha. If there is Slesha, there is more chamatkara in the description. So let's see the difference here. Kripanasya, kripanasya. Akarataha bhedaha. Akarataha bhe. Akara. A also means the kripana and kripana. There is an akara there. So there is an extra a which gives the difference in its form, word-wise, and in its rupam, physical rupam also. It's a play on the word there, right? What are the similarities here? Dridhatara nibaddha mushtehe. A miser will not let go of money. He will hold his fist. He will be tight-fisted. So dridhatara nibaddha mushti. Mushti is a fist, and it is dridhatara, very tightly bound fist. Kripana, when you are handling a sword, you have to hold it very tightly. Otherwise, it will fall and cut your own leg or something like that. So you have to be very careful when you're holding a sword. Dridhatara nibaddha mushtihi, or a sword where the hand, where you hold the hand, that portion is called the fist of the sword. You know, the portion where you hold your hand, that
The hilt.
section.
The hilt, H-I-L-T.
Hilt, correct. The hilt should be very tight to the blade. It should be tied in a very tight manner. Otherwise, it will slip out, right? The blade will slip out. Adanala dridatara mushtehe kosha nishannasya. It resides in its kosha. Kosha is the sheath of the sword. And for a kripanaha, the miser always stays in his treasury. That is, he keeps counting the money or separating whatever accountant. So he will always be looking at the accounts book in his treasury. So kosha nishannaha, one who is always seated in his treasury. Here, one which is always residing inside the sheath, the sword. Sahaja malinasya is by nature he is malina is dirty. அதாவது ஒரு டர்ட்டினா இந்த இடத்துல not physically he doesn't take a bath அந்த மாதிரி இல்ல. You can take it as his mind is very என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு அழுக்கு புத்தியும்போம். தமிழ்ல அழகா சொல்றதுலாம், இங்கிலீஷ்ல டர்ட்டி மைண்ட்னா அது வந்து ரொம்ப பேட் கானடேஷனா வந்துடுறது. அந்த மாதிரி இல்ல. இங்க இஸ் வெரி ஸ்டிஞ்சி வித் ரெஸ்பெக்ட் டு மணி, அந்த மாதிரி எடுத்துக்கணும். A sword is also by nature dirty because it is used to cut people and it has blood stains and all that. Nobody sits and washes a sword during a battle here. So sahaja malinasya. Another thing is also when you make a sword, it is in a metal and it is burnt really well and then put inside the water and flattened. So the color of a sword is also very dark. So sahaja malinasya, the sword by nature is also dark colored. Evam, all three of these are adjectives to both kripanasya and kripanasya. So each of these three are in shashti vibhakti. Dridatara nibadda mushtehe kosha nishannasya sahaja malinasya kripanasya. Dridatara nibadda mushtehe kosha nishannasya sahaja malinasya kripanasya cha kevalam akarataha bhedaha. There is only a difference between the two in the form. Otherwise, there is no difference between the two of them. Nyunatvam adhikatvam va na uktam kripana kripanayoho. Is it clear? So idoda and the extra examples the kekka maata ungalku, but just in case adiyum nadathi mudichute. The next one is sahokti. Idu vandu we will have to read with vinokti to know the difference and be clear about it. So idu next class paakalam. Okay.
So vinoktiya saha sahoktihi patitavyam.
Hama. Sahoktim vina vinoktihi na patitavya.